Hey there, I'm Jason Sutter at Drumeo, and I'm here with 5 tips to improve your brush playing. The first tip I have is when I'm practicing, I try to, and I recommend this to all players, is to be able to play, to reverse your strokes. So if you're playing everything clockwise, be able to play everything counterclockwise. And this is great to practice because a lot of younger brush players always say, you know, how do I get back into a pattern if I go to, say, play an accent or some sort of a passage. So what I mean by that is, say, if you're playing a stroke, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, be able to reverse it. 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 1. Notice that with my right hand, I'm being able to play or either way, depending. So if I'm playing something, you can see how I just reversed it there. In sweep strokes, if I was playing everything clockwise, so say everything was going this way, 1, be able to play out. So instead of all playing in, I'm now playing everything out. Make sense? That's a great technique. I think a great idea to improve your playing is always practice being able to play the reverse of whatever pattern you're comfortable with. The second tip I have deals with fluidity and getting a real fluid sound, because brushes should sound very relaxed and very full and flowing. I try to relate it to water. I try to imagine running water, and actually a great practice is in a swimming pool. You can actually practice this. And I found the best way to get the biggest, fullest sound out of a brush pattern when you're sweeping is leading with with your wrist. So your wrist is always coming first, and it's always leaving first. So it's coming up and leaving. And so I imagine, say, if I was looking down and if I was in a swimming pool, my wrists are moving like this, if that makes sense. So you can practice this actually in like the bathtub or a swimming pool. If you're in a swimming pool, check it out. Just let the water pull your hands if you're relaxed, and you'll automatically get this motion. And I try to apply that when I'm playing, and I feel like that leaves the brush on the head the longest by leading with the wrist. So check it out. I'm leading with my wrist, and I'm leading with my wrist. So in the sweep pattern, I'm always leading left hand. So it's that motion with the brush where I'm always leading with the wrist. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's another great technique for fluidity. That's my tip number 2. Tip number 3 is pretty simple. When I'm practicing, when I was younger, especially when I was first getting into brushes, I would wake up every day at University of North Texas, and I would go to my practice room, and I'd go there first thing in the morning, because brushes are kind of meditative to me. They're kind of a way to kind of clear my head, and hopefully they could be for you too. It's almost like Tai Chi with sound, which is kind of an interesting way to look at it. And I would go to my practice room, and I would practice brushes for an hour with the lights off. And I found that if I did that, I could really start to focus and kind of almost meditate on the sound and make it as fluid as possible. So I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. And this is super simple, but it's a great way to really hone in on getting that really sweet, fluid sound in a ballad. Cool? That's tip number 3, practice in the dark. For tip number 4, super simple one, man. Just I always get asked, like, what's a great way to start, playing along? And I think as any good young player, you should start playing along with a great jazz record. I found a great record, I think, that worked for me around this time when I was in college was a great record called Kind of Blue by Miles Davis, with the great Jimmy Cobb on drums. And that record, to me, the tempos are all medium tempos, and so it's a great kind of starter record to kind of work on tap strokes, sweep strokes, and it's a great way to kind of get into it. So I highly recommend getting a copy of Miles Davis Kind of Blue. Turn out the lights and light a candle, some incense, vibe out, and get into it. Have some fun with it. For tip number 5, what I do, and what I'm doing here in front of you today, although I have 2 drums, is I recommend something I kind of took as a challenge as a young player in college as well, and still do it to this day, is show up at the gig with just a snare drum. Practice just honing your brush skills on just one drum, on just a snare drum. No hi-hat for 2 and 4, no bass drum for accents, no cymbals, nothing except the snare drum, so that you can really become one with this instrument and a pair of brushes. And so to me, that was really important because it kind of forced me to be creative. It forced me to be able to learn how to play a bossa nova at all tempos. It forced me to be able to play Latin music or odd meters or backbeats with just one drum. And it was also partly out of necessity because it was easier to show up at a dude's dorm room with just a snare drum and a stand. But definitely something I'd recommend to any young brush players, or if you've been playing brushes for a long time, maybe just strip the kit away and just get to know your drum and your brushes and kind of have fun with it. Experiment maybe turning your snares on and off. Have a tenor, and as well as on or experiment using both of them. I hope you enjoyed those 5 tips, and if you did, you can go to Drumeo.com and check out a full lesson on finding your voice with brushes. I'm going to play you guys out. Hope you enjoyed that.